everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So if you clicked on this video because you were wondering if the title was real or clickbait, let me assure you, it is 100% real. As a matter of fact, it is now law in the state of California due to a bill that was recently signed by Governor Gavin Newsom that took effect immediately. So companies are no longer allowed to sell any type of apparel that comes in youth sizes in the state, or else they will receive a pretty hefty fine. So hats, t-shirts, sunglasses, socks, I mean, you name it. If it's firearms branded, it's a no-go in California. And there's a lot more to it than that, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get to it. This video is proud to be sponsored by Personal Defense Network, which is an absolutely amazing online training resource where you can get training from people like Rob Pincus. As a matter of fact, if you use my link down below, which is personaldefensenetwork.com/CopperJacketTV, you can get an entire year of their premium membership for $2. An entire year of all of these resources for only $2. So do you want to be better prepared to take care of yourself or the people that you care about in an emergency? Personal Defense Network can help. Join a community of thousands who are committed to developing their personal defense and firearms training skills. Premium membership gives you access to hundreds of full-length videos led by expert instructors in their field. Their video topics include emergency medical techniques, armed and unarmed defense, firearm training, security techniques and tactics for your home and workplace, defensive gear, and so much more. So again, visit personaldefensenetwork.com/CopperJacketTV to take advantage of this great offer. Now, this comes from a bill that, if you ask me, just did not get enough attention in the state of California. It's a pretty significant bill, but at the same time, it's also an extremely vague bill. As a matter of fact, it might be one of the most vague that has come out of the state of California in a long time, and that's saying something if you've ever lived there. So we're talking about AB 2571, which is basically advertising to minors. Now, I want to read you guys the first short paragraph that they have here in the bill, and then I'm going to scroll down to where it specifically talks about apparel. Now, this is a big deal because if you walk into your local Bass Pro, or you walk into your local shop, or Sportsman's, or Big Five, or something like that, they're no longer able to have those things on the rack or offer them in any type of youth size, because that's technically marketing to minors, right? And so it mentions that specifically in this bill amongst so many other things. But like I was saying, it's also very, very vague. So you could be getting, they could basically get people for things that they didn't even know, the people they're getting didn't even know that they were doing. So again, it's so vague that it's up to the interpretation of whoever is actually looking at the item or product or poster or whatever it is. So AB 2571, this bill would prohibit a firearm industry member as defined from advertising or marketing any firearm related product as defined in a manner that is designated, intended, or reasonably appears to be attractive to minors. So reasonably appears. That to me is where it leaves the door completely wide open, right? Because what I would think would reasonably appear attractive to a minor could be completely different from somebody who has an agenda and says, well, you know what, it has so-and-so character on it, or it has this color, or this shape, or this design, or something like that. And so I find it reasonable that it was attractive to minors. So again, it leaves the door open for personal interpretation, which is different from every single person out there. So again, very, very vague. Now let's go ahead and scroll down to the part where it actually talks about, apparel, merchandise, and so forth. Okay, so paragraph A, it says uses caricatures that reasonably appear to be minors or cartoon characters in order to promote something. So, for instance, if you have like a laser engraver and you put like an Elmer Fudd on a mag or something like that, you couldn't do that and have it for sale because somebody could see that and say that, reasonably, I think that is, that's promoting to minors. So you can't have anything like that on any item related to firearms because according to this bill, that caricature or cartoon could be something that is for minors and therefore not allowed. So the person who made it, the person who produced it, would be the one that is in trouble. So here we go again now with the merchandise and clothing, okay, which is in paragraph B, offers brand name merchandise for minors, included but not limited to hats, t-shirts, or other clothing or toys, games, or stuffed animals that promote a firearm industry member or related product. So if you had a Smith & Wesson t-shirt or a Ruger t-shirt, or you had, a pop gun, like, little, pop guns where the little thing, comes out or whatever, the, what is it, cork, right? So the little cork guns. If you had a rubber band gun that said Ruger on it, if you had anything like that, right? That was brand related, so not necessarily something that's generic, but if it had a brand name on it, that would be listed on this as well. So there's a lot of different things. Basically, anything for youth that is brand related is basically out in California. So what's the penalties for this? Well, it's $25,000, but it's per item, per incident. So for instance, let's say that somebody sends in 100 t-shirts, right, to Bass Pro, okay? Now, Bass Pro puts out 100 of these t-shirts in youth sizes. Okay, these t-shirts fall within that category. Guess what? It's $25,000 per t-shirt that was sent in. $25,000 per t-shirt. So it basically, again, they've made it so high, so strict, so overwhelming. It's just, there's no way that anybody's going to be able to send anything in or sell anything because nobody's going to want to take that risk. So this bill goes after just about everything, and it sucks. There's a lot of clubs out there, youth clubs out there. They do the skeet, they do the trap, clay pigeons, things like that, and they have all sorts of stuff that they wear, branded shirts and sponsorships and things like that. According to this, that would not be allowed. And so I personally know of a club, I believe it's up north, but that shut down completely because of this new law. So there was like 100 kids that were part of this. It was done through their school, and they had to shut down operations because they weren't sure exactly how this law applied to them. But according to this law and this bill, AB 2571, it would just about cover everything because, again, it's up to each individual person to determine whether or not it's reasonably attractive to minors, that's all it has to be. So think of things like the cricket, right? So something that's marketed generally as somebody who's a beginner, somebody who's a young beginner, right? A youth beginner. It's very safe. It's single shot. It's the safest way to train youth is the cricket. That right there alone, if it is done, you can't have the safest possible option because that would be marketing to minors. So again, there's a lot of things that are affected by this. And while most people didn't give it much credence because, they just thought it maybe affected the big mainstream stuff, no, it doesn't. It affects a lot of things. As a matter of fact, I believe there is CRPA has a case going against this right now. And CRPA, I believe, is seeking an injunction today in court. So there could possibly be an injunction as early as today, tomorrow, or maybe early on this week sometime. Hopefully we'll see an injunction at least until, the case can be heard. But there are already lawsuits going against 2571, and hopefully CRPA succeeds at this one because it's a clear violation of First Amendment rights and Second Amendment rights. So that's 2571 in a nutshell. I mean, we can go much deeper into it. It covers a lot more, but we'd be here for hours. I will put a link directly to the bill text down below if you guys want to read it for yourself. If you're worried about something, I suggest you do that because this is absolutely ridiculous. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.